Hello, hello, and we are live on Monday, March 6th, 2023. Please say hello when you arrive. Full transparency, this transmission will likely not be the full 30 minutes like it usually is. Hello, babe. I just transparently am fucking exhausted. I don't know if you can like actually catch that and see it in my face. I slept for a full like 10, 11 hours last night, something like that, which if you know me, that is like unheard of. Not that I'm like a team no sleep kind of person or anything, but I mean, I'm pretty like 7 hours a night kind of gal, maybe 8 if I'm like, oof, it's been like a really long night or something. But no, I am um fully recovering today. Thank God my daughter has no school today. I don't know why she has no school, but the Lord has smiled on me today because I simply could not handle getting up and doing car line and all of that this morning. This weekend I started yoga teacher training and it was amazing. I am so happy. Like this, I mean, what an incredible experience. It's only been one weekend so far, but I mean, just the teacher, the curriculum, the people who were there. It's already so magical and it's only been 2 days. And so got like 7 more weekends to go. It's every other weekend. So thankfully it won't be like full recovery time like every Monday. But it is a lot. It's like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and there are breaks, but man, it's a long day. So with that said, I am just kind of gonna get into it today. I almost like didn't even go live today, to be perfectly honest, because tomorrow is when things really start getting juicy. Like tomorrow is when things really start shifting. In fact, today is a lot of the same stuff that we were talking about on Friday, but just for the sake of giving y'all our updates, I'm going to take it on over to astro.com so that I can pull open the celestial events, the transits for the day. If you want to watch along, Instagram, obviously you can't see my screen, but you can hop on over to twitch.tv/Mama Capricorn with an underscore at the end, or you can just wait until it's live on YouTube in a little bit. And then I do also put the video version on, what am I talking about? Where do I put the video? On Spotify. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm like, ooh, I'm sleepy. Okay, so this is really the big one that I want to mention, right? This Jupiter conjunct Chiron. So we were talking about this. I feel like we've been talking about Jupiter. We've been talking about Chiron. We've been talking about this like major conjunction situation because last week we had the Venus conjunct Jupiter and Venus conjunct Chiron in Aries when I discussed how that ended up translating into me getting proposed to. But this week we have now Jupiter really coming into conjunction with Chiron. Now, this is like these both are slower movers. So this is not a complete conjunction yet. If you can see my screen, you see that the direct conjunction is on the 12th, which is in 6 more days. That is this coming Sunday. So the thing to do if you're not in my subscriber list, if you are a subscriber, you can actually go to Podia right now in the community. I posted our weekly horoscopes by rising sign, and it'll take you to this this screen here. So like I'm a Gemini rising, I would open this. And I've got a video version that is right about 26 minutes long here that gives a full breakdown of the weekly horoscope by rising sign. So no matter what your rising sign is, and there's a transcript here too, and then the video is also done with like captions, just because I know everybody's a different kind of learner, a different kind of consumer when it comes to content, and I want to make sure that you've got what you need. But if you're not on my subscriber list, which it's $11 a month, or you can join for $55 a year. But if you're not a subscriber, what I would do is encourage you to look and see where Aries is in your chart. So for me, Aries is in my 11th house. Now, this is like absolutely no surprise to me, because the 11th house is the house of, they call it the house of like social circles. It's very generalized. I think that a lot of people like hear the 11th house and they hear like friend groups, which is not completely inaccurate, but the 11th house opposes the 5th house. Okay. The 5th house would be the house of Leo. It's the house of fun, friends, flings. Okay. That's where I would find friends, friend groups, people I want to hang out with, people I want to go out with, people I want to like have a good time with. Okay. And the 11th house, ideally there is camaraderie there. Ideally there is like you get along with people there. But I see the 11th house more as like your comrades, or like your allies. Like these are people that you're going to want to do work with and be with in the long term. You have a shared vision and you want to innovate for the future together. That's the 11th house energy. So with Jupiter coming in conjunction with Chiron in my 11th house, right? Let's get more specific on where to read this in the chart, how you would actually start to interpret this. With Jupiter coming in conjunction, what this is like a beautiful moment for healing, and specifically for like healing your soul, healing your connection to believing in something, right? And I don't necessarily mean that in like unless Aries rules your 12th house, then it might be a little bit more of a spiritual thing. Maybe even your 9th house. If Aries rules your 9th house, it may end up being more of an intellectually spiritual thing, right? Something that maybe you go on like an eat, pray, love tour kind of thing. But with Jupiter coming in conjunction with Aries, in Aries, Jupiter coming in conjunction with Chiron in Aries, y'all, I am beat. In my 11th house, the weekend that I start yoga teacher training. And this yoga teacher training, y'all, it's like I was sitting there in the middle of class when everyone was introducing themselves on day one. And like literally in the middle of class, they're like people in the row behind me, people in the row in front of me, 2 people this way, 2 people that way. So I was truly like in the middle of this group of people, and we all are going around and introducing ourselves. And I swear, I mean, I already am living in this very esoteric world where like I am not ever having a conversation with anyone but myself. Like we are all just images of oneness, trying to teach each other like, hey, remember? And that's how I feel like everything has been for me lately. It's kind of just like a never ending acid trip. I don't know how else to describe it. And so I'm sitting in yoga teacher training, and all of these people are like, it's like I created them. It's like the person even sitting right next to me. He talks about how he moved here. He's a musician and he's looking really to build community. That's the bigger reason that he's here. He wants to collaborate with people. He's also another work at home person. And like, no shit, like last week I had this amazing idea and I can't execute it because I'm not a musician. I'm going to need people to help me. I'm going to need people to work with in order for me to do a lot of the things that I want to do in the future. And it's like they were all sitting here in this yoga teacher training. It's like all of them were here in this class. Like there are people that I could see myself creating programs with, or hosting retreats with, or doing workshops with, or creating like downloadables with. And it's just like, yeah, of course this would happen, because I've been living in the reality for the last like 10 or 12 years that I have to do this by myself. Like I've been a solopreneur for most of the time. There was a small period of time where I had employees and I hired people to do things for me. But most of these, almost 10 years that I've been working for myself have been completely solo. And with this Jupiter Chiron conjunction in my 11th house, it's really healing that belief in me that nobody else has anything of value to give to my purpose, or like I have to do this on my own, or like in order for me to whatever. It's like I have had so many blocks mentally, emotionally, spiritually for a very long time around community, and not just like friends like come and go, like casual, whatever, although that somewhat plays a role in it, but it's more about like I want people to build things with, like, I want people who believe in things. Like, I want people who believe in me and like, we have this shared vision. And it's been really discouraging for a long time, like feeling like so disconnected and doing it on my own, or feeling like the people that give a shit about the same stuff are like not here. And so with this Jupiter Chiron conjunction going down in my 11th house, you can see how this is more contextualized, right? You can see how we can see the healing and the rediscovery, the re-engagement of like the belief in community, the belief in like an innovative future that we can create together. Like I'm really taking that in, and I'm really like holding on to it. And I have a feeling that sometime over the next like 2 weeks, as we are experiencing this come into greater conjunction and then move, out of the orb window. So we've got from March 6th, which would have been that's today. I mean, it kind of started on Saturday, if I'm honest with you, but whatever. It depends on your definition of how far an orb window is for conjunction, but I'm getting like really astro nerd on y'all now. So, but it goes until next, what is it? The 17th, next Friday. So over the next week or so, take a look at your chart, see where Aries falls, see what house that's in for you, and then examine, right? Is there any evidence of healing opportunities taking place? Is there anything that I'm seeing, noticing that I can acknowledge like where a healing needs to take place? And then like because healing is one half of this, y'all. It's like healing can't actually like, oh man, that's a word that we really need to like unpack, isn't it? Because like healing is one of those words that I think gets so taken out of context when we're talking about emotional or spiritual stuff. I think that and maybe this is just a perception I'm taking away from like Westerners, but like we think of healing as like I got a cut and it healed, right? And it's like, can I still see the scar? What does it mean to be healed? Like there's still going to be some evidence, some remnant of what was there, right? Of that pain, of that thing that happened. But that doesn't mean that it's not done, right? That I'm not healed yet. I got to keep digging at it. I got to keep working at it. Like I had a C-section. Yikes, right? I had a C-section, and like I can still see the scar. I can still feel it even. And even like it took years. I mean, my daughter's almost 8 now. It took years for me to regain sensitivity, like physical touch sensitivity, like for me to be able to feel my fingers right around the scar. But that doesn't mean that I needed to like go back to the doctor and have them like open up the cut and like fix it again, right? And I think that is sort of the way that we should consider approaching emotional or spiritual health. It's like, there is not a magic pill that you're going to be able to take that is going to actually heal you or fix the feeling that you have or fix the experience that you had. And that sucks in one way. But on the other hand, like it's just part of the fabric of your story. It's just one thread in this like woven fucking masterpiece, and I think that it's more about changing the way that you relate to that experience or the way that you relate to those emotions, and allowing yourself to have some level of acceptance and embrace of the lesson, and then moving forward. Like we have to keep going. And I think that that's what the primary like takeaway of this conjunction is like, we have to believe in things again. Like we have to believe in something better. We have to believe in a better future. We cannot just sit here and accept like what the fuck is going on. whether that's in a global sense, whether that's in a more local sense, or whether that's in a personal sense for you. You take that as you wish, but like, there is always an opportunity to start again. And I think with this conjunction being in Aries specifically, that's very much something that you should be considering right now. Where have you closed yourself off from the concept of there being a possibility of you starting things again? Like, we've got to believe. We've got to believe. Okay. So with that said, the sun is still in 63, gate 63 for a few days. It's Monday, so it's a line 5 day. So this may be a day that's like ripe with like projections, right? People not choosing, let me take that back. People perceiving things not the way that you intended for them to be, whether that's them receiving you and like, oh, holy shit, like, thank you so much. And you just had no idea that the energy that you were coming in with was going to be so beneficial to them. Or whether it is in the context of like them being like completely triggered by you, right? And then being like, just taking you completely out of context, right? That is a lot of the way that day 5 days go, with this being a line 5 day. Now, with this being a line 5 day dealing with the way of inquiry, what we're going to be talking about are really closing oneself off to possibilities. Listen to me when I say this. If you're finding yourself, or if you're hearing someone say, well, that's not logical, or like, well, we can't do that. Well, why the fuck not? Like, I want you to just stop and like, well, why not? Like, what, just like, and I'm not saying that you can. Maybe you're totally right. And maybe no, like, maybe no, you can't do that. Maybe no, it's not logical. I don't know. But the moment that we just like shut something down, this is a good time to be like, well, wait, hang on. Why do I think that? Where did that come from? Where did that belief come from? Where did this mindset come from? Where did the definition come from? Like, why do I think that this is not something that can be done? Or why do I think that it has to be done this way? Right? Because that's what logic is it's all about like spreadsheets and facts and like figuring things out and defining things. And like, I think that today would be a really good day to just play around with your mind in general, like just to get very inquisitive, like very much like a scientist. And anytime a thought pops up in your mind, or anytime, especially that it's a critical thought, anytime it's a thought that's like, I need to figure this out, or you are sure about something, if you've got like absolute certainty about something, you think something is fucking fact, it is true. Today would be a really good day to be like, well, wait, why? Why do I think that? Where did that come from? Because life is full of mysteries, y'all. And even like scientific fact is not fact. Like, there are things that we thought were fact like 100 years ago. Nope. We just needed a better fucking microscope. Like, we just needed better technology. Like, we just need, it's like, that's the way that we should be approaching pretty much everything. That is the way, I mean, y'all, I'm not going to go into it right now, but for those of you who were around when you saw me like kill my program from 2020 and back in 2021, and I like basically shut down my business for like 3 months and then like had to restart it. And it's not that, like, I can't sit here and beat myself up and like feel guilty or feel shamed of teaching something or being part of something that I then found out to be not something that I find like in alignment with my beliefs or like what I think is something that is good or useful. I have the information that I have. I have to do what I can with what I know and what I see and what I'm given right now. But you have to stay open, like stay open to the fact that you don't know everything. Stay open to the idea that you may need to change that, or that there may be some adaptability that has to come into play here. We're going to have a full moon. I mean, technically the moon is like full-ish, we're like getting there. But the full moon is tomorrow, and the full moon is tomorrow at the same day, like an hour later, we have Saturn move into Pisces. I have so many things today, so many things to say about it, but I'm exhausted. So I'm not going to talk about it today. What I will say, I'll be back here tomorrow, as always, 9 a.m. Eastern time, the daily transmission here on Instagram, here on Twitch. And then of course I send it over to YouTube and the podcast later. But if you were just like itching to get in here, you need to know what this moon and Saturn has in store for you, and maybe start contemplating things a little bit ahead of time, you can go to the link in my bio, can't you? Right? I don't know, but you can go to mamacapricorn.podia.com. That's PODIA. And you can join the Astro Mind. The Astro Mind is $11 a month or $55 a year. Super sweet annual deal when you get in there. And up in the community section, I posted our weekly horoscope by rising signs. And so each rising sign has its own horoscope. You pop it open and you've got a video. They're about 25-ish minutes each. Each one does have the subtitles on. And then I also have a transcript just in case you want to like read it. So however you want to consume your horoscope by rising, I drop this every week for my subscribers. So I would love to see you in there. I teach a class every month. It's good shit, y'all. Get a little more astro savvy and get to hang out with Mama Capricorn. So, oh, I've got like a super exciting announcement coming, but I have to tell you later. So if I can't tell you today, I'll tell you tomorrow. It's more 11th house fucking stuff though, y'all. Of course, we can't make this up. It's all an illusion. It's a fucking video game. Figure out the code and you'll master your life. You want to figure out the code? Hang out with me. I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Bye, friends.